This is going to be our lesson this evening. It's a little variation. It's just a little melody, piece of melody that I plucked out of CANTIGA 119. You can pull that up on YouTube and I'm sure find many variations of it, probably the same one I listen to kind of get a little bit of that melody. That's why I call it a variation. And so I worked out this little melody in an exercise that is going to emphasize strumming up and down on this instrument. Okay, so the idea here was to build some kind of exercise that sounds like a song, so you're not playing something monotonously boring, but at the same time you're doing what can be monotonous and boring by learning, training your hand to play up and down in a particular rhythm. Okay, because we're going to commit this to muscle memory. We're going to make our right hand automatic so that we can start moving up here and playing tunes. Okay, so I've got the tab on the website, the links below, you can print that out, and I've got the Dulcimer tuned to DAC, so it's in standard D, A, and then what I've done on this very first string is I've backed it off. Okay, I've tuned it down to C. So I'm going to play this first string. Okay, you want to try to match that tone with your instrument. You know, back the tuner off. If it's really low, you can raise the tuner up until you get to this tone. And here's the middle string A. And the bass string C. I'm sorry, D. D, A, C. C is the top string. I'm going to make another video very soon on tuning, so that'll help as well. So you got the tab in front of you. It's important that you pay attention to the arrows again. Remember, the arrow that's pointing up is a downstroke, and the arrow that's pointing down is an upstroke, so it's just reverse. Okay, and then everything is played on the first string, all the frets. There's no two finger chords in this little rendition. Okay, and so we'll work through it slowly. So we're gonna grab the first string, first fret, and we're gonna strum down and up. Okay, you can see how I've kind of tied those two notes together with a little bar. That means it's kind of like an eighth note, so we want to play it a little quicker than we normally would. So we're going to go, okay, down, down, down. Okay, then the next two are quarter notes. They have less of a beat. They're a little slower. Okay, so here's where we're getting into this idea of rhythm. You know, we're using this. This is what's going to be this is how we're generating the energy in the song anyway. So okay, that's the first part, the 2 8 notes, and then the 1 and the 2. So it's down, up, down, up. We're going to move on to the 3rd fret. That was the 2 3s, then the quarter note 3, and then the 4. Then the 5, we're going to go to the 5. Okay, now that last measure is a little tricky, so I put in an alternate in red. Okay, ideally what we want to do is we want to play okay, we're kind of gonna work our way down. 4 3 2 2, 4 3 2 2, 4 3 2 2. But if you can't quite do that, you can just play. You can just do 4 and then 5 again, down up. So the line with the alternate ending is okay. Second line. we are at this last part. We're going to hammer on 2, 3, 2, and then 1s again. So if you notice, really all we're doing here is just down, up, down, up, down, up. There's really no other variation that we're doing. We're not doing down, down, up, or any of that stuff. It's just a straight down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It's just what we're doing is we're playing one down, up a little faster, and then the other one a little slower. So. Then the third line is a little variation. We're going to run down to the 5th fret. We're going to play it once, then go down to the 8th and do our down up. Okay, we're hammering on that 8th. So we're on the 7th. We're going down, up, down, 7, 5, 5. Down, down. Okay, that's the only place we're playing 2 downs. Okay, so I'm going to do that line just quickly. And then we're going to repeat the second line. Okay? So the whole song and exercise is dedicated to doing this. And doing it with a little bit of consciousness towards time, because the rhythm of the song is really, you're emphasizing the melody. So actually that's how you're creating the tune. Okay, I'll do the first line again with the alternate ending. Didn't quite sound as good, but you know, the whole point of this is practice, you know, and giving you something that's a little bit entertaining while you practice, you know. So then you get this down, you know, you're able to do this. So now let's think about trying a variation, okay? So on all of these tunes, you don't have to strum the whole all the strings. You can play the individual notes. So we could play this just on the first line. Which might not be a bad way to work on it. You know, you're still getting up and down, except we're focusing it here. So it's going to be a little bit more tricky because you'll have to have a little bit more control. That's why I think this is a little easy to start out with. That said, you know, after you get the strumming down, try playing a little melody and then use the chords. I'm sure what I'm talking about. Okay, so there we're mixing in a little bit. We're playing just a straight melody, we're mixing a little rhythm in, so there's a nice little variation there. You could play that for one run through and then do the chords for another run through. So there's a lot of stuff you can do here to get some mileage out of what you're working with, you know. Then you can always, you know, once you get fast at it, you can just... Okay, I listed another tuning here because originally I had dropped the instrument down a little bit more to give it a little bit more variation. because we've done a couple of songs in DAC, and really it's the same basically configuration. It's just lower. The strings are at a lower pitch. Okay, so it gives it a little different effect. So I brought the first string down to A sharp. So now we're tuned C, G, A sharp. Some of this stuff's a little hard to get if you don't have an automatic tuner. I've got a very nice tuner. It's well worth your investment getting an electronic tuner. It's going to enable you to go back and forth between tunings real easy. But again, I'm going to make a separate video and all that. I'll go over different tunings, how to tune it to itself, stuff like that. So that'll be helpful, and I'll put that up soon. So I'm going to play this again in this kind of lower pitch tuning, and it gives a nice effect, I think. There you go. Cantiga 119 variation. A little nice little exercise. Learning how to double strum up and down. Alright? Happy playing.